Okay, good afternoon. My name is Emmanuel Ekanem from Calabar Online Media. So I'll be asking you a question respect to the peaceful protest that happened yesterday at the University of Calabar Teaching Hospital Medical Laboratory between the medical lab students and also the medical doctors. Okay, so when did the how will I call it peaceful demonstration started?
Okay, we demonstrated peacefully yesterday
Okay.
in the morning. That was after we came to the lab and we were asked to identify ourselves before we enter the lab, which has never been done before. Like normally we just go because it's our IT program, more like IT. Your first, second semester, all we do is post it in the lab. And before we've never had any issues of using identification card to identify ourselves for entering the lab. And we've never had where there are armed men with guns.
Armed men with guns.
Yes. All in the name of police searching us and asking us for ID cards for entering the lab. That has never been the situation before. So I was shocked. I was even asked to go back and then get my ID card, which I did after I pleaded and pleaded. But to my surprise, medicine students and doctors were just barging in and out of the lab, and nobody was asking them for their ID cards or anything. And I went home, I brought my ID card, I got into the lab. But our scientists were not allowed to teach us, saying that there is a memo of from first to fifth that scientists will not be or the doctors that will be on duty, blah blah blah, something like that, sha. And then yeah, so our scientists could not teach us. Whereas medicine students were having lectures. And we were paid and we said, okay, since we are having lectures, and since they are having lectures and we can't have lectures, then they will not be able to have their lectures. So we went inside, we were making noise so that and then we tried to explain to the lecturers that sorry, we don't think lectures will hold today. You people should also help see reasons with us why our scientists should be allowed into the labs to teach us. After that, our fundamental rights to education, but we were deprived of that. So after the doctors, the teaching doctors that were teaching the medicine student left, we did a protest with the interns and the scientists involved, and went a peaceful demonstration.
Protest was only. Can I speak? See, the whole matter started day before yesterday, in the evening, around 5:30 to be specific. We were in the lab, we were learning. The students were learning, the scientists were working. Everybody was busy. And all of a sudden, up to 6 or 7 doctors came inside with their students and asked everybody inside the lab, both students that were learning alongside the scientists that were there, and also people that were on call. I don't even know what call means. Even those that were on call, telling us that they want to take over, that we should leave the lab. And when we said no, that we can't leave the lab, that this is where we are supposed to be, and most of us were learning and the others were actually working, they went outside and brought in armed people. Now, I did not say surveillance, I did not say security personnel, armed people. Now, security personnel are those who are authorized to come into the lab and do that stuff. Those people did not take permission from the management. They came in on their own accord, or should I say due because of the doctors that came. They came inside
now
there.
let me come in there.
Yeah.
You said when they went out
Yes.
and came in with armed men.
Yes.
How long did they go out? How long?
It wasn't up to 5 minutes.
Wasn't up to
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yes, just 5 minutes
To show
stops.
that the armed men were
Yeah,
already
but-
out.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. All right.
They went out, came in with these armed people, came inside the lab, started making noise. They were disturbing the peace of the lab. They made noise. Nobody could concentrate again, asking everybody to go out. Even the intern, there was a particular intern there that was on call. They started harassing this intern, asking him why that. They started bringing up sorts of things like, see this one, we just come out for school, all stuff like that. What does coming out from school at an early age have to do with you disturbing the peace and order in the lab. They came, they started harassing everybody, intimidating us with guns, started threatening us, telling us that we should leave the lab, that we are done for today, that they don't want to see any scientist or medical laboratory science student in that lab again. So this happened for some time, and then everybody was sent out except those people on call, because after much deliberation on the matter, we left. They asked all students to go out. I don't know what happened from there. So as my colleague said yesterday, I didn't come early. She has explained to you what happened at the early hours. So now let me tell you from where I came. I came in when the doctors were teaching their own medicine and surgery students and refused to give us permission, or rather they refused to allow our own scientists inside the lab to come and teach us. That's where everything started. Now, on seeing this, the students were not happy. Even you will not be happy. We saw this, we now said, okay, now these students should come out. Let them come out, because you can't be learning and us we are not allowed to learn in our own lab. It is not done anywhere. So we now started a peaceful protest. I'm stressing the word peaceful, because nobody was hurt, and we did not destroy any property. We were just making noise and walking up and down, singing our Luther songs and saying we saw the video and we were standing for our rights. It is our right to learn. We now said no, that kind of thing cannot happen, and that's allowed. That because, as my colleague said here, medical students, we are all medical students, medicine and surgery students were allowed inside the lab without identification card. The doctors were allowed inside the lab without ID cards, most of them. There was a certain point where a doctor called a certain group of students. They came to the gate. He thought these students were medicine and surgery students. When we came to the gate, he now asked us which department. He had this feeling that we were medicine and surgery students. We were not with ID card. He knew we were not with ID cards. He now said, which department? When we now told him medical laboratory science, he now said, no, please go back. You cannot enter. To show you that this stuff was already pre-planned. They planned it already. They had idea that most of our scientists will not be around due to the conference happening at Abuja. So they came to oppress most of us and also stop us from learning as well as doing our jobs. Now when this happened, we went on a peaceful protest. We went around all the labs saying that we can't take data again. We now went from there to the main admin block in front of the hospital where the DVC came and asked us to go back to our labs and calm the whole issue and learn that they should allow everybody inside. On getting to the lab, where the video you saw, where that whole fight started, was when we were going back to our labs. These same doctors stood on the path where we were going to the lab, and they said that we could not pass that place, that we're not allowed to pass that place. We now started saying, I think they've settled this stuff in front of the admin block that we can go back to our labs. They said no, that nobody's allowed to pass that place to the lab. So we now, no, we can't happen. We're now gingering. All of a sudden, note what I'm about to say now. All of a sudden, the doctors are not the scientists. This whole thing I've said is the students I'm talking about. The interns had no hand in this. The medical laboratory scientists had no hand in this. It was all students, because they deprived of the right to learn. We went on this. The peaceful protest was all students, no scientists, no intern. It was all students. That's when these doctors now broke laboratory equipment, most especially bottle and test tubes on the floor. My name is Brendan Akao, in case you don't know. I was the one they aimed bottle at. I was in front. They aimed me. They broke bottles and threw it at us, the students. The video where you see people running out, those people are medical laboratory science students. Those are not doctors. Every medical practitioner wears lab coats. Those are medical laboratory science students are running out due to the breaking of the bottle and throwing of the broken bottles at us. These doctors broke those stuffs and started throwing it at us, injuring most of us. Now when they saw that most students fled away, they held my colleague, the girl, this one, and beat her up mercilessly. They beat her up to the point that no, it wasn't nice at all. For a lady, it was too much. They beat her up, poured sand on her, and left her there. They broke her leg also. They broke her leg, she can't walk well. Even till now, she can't walk properly. So when this happened now, most students, on seeing that they've beaten our colleague to this point, most students were angry. We now went in. came back with full force. That's when everything started. Now, I want to address another issue. I saw another video of a particular part of the lab where they messed up things.
Doctors.
Now, let me be very clear on that. No medical laboratory scientist, no medical laboratory intern, no medical laboratory science student messed up that place. That place was destroyed by the doctors that were there. That is their residence lab. That is their research lab, and it is always locked.
So
Now,
first
first of all, if you think it was a medical laboratory scientist that destroyed that place, why is it that the person that is videoing that place is free? Like, he can hold the phone properly and video the place when all those things were going on. If it's common sense, those doctors destroyed that place. Then when we came back to the lab, they ambushed us, started beating us. That is exactly what happened.
Tore their clothes.
Yes, they injured themselves. Nobody injured anybody. No, we didn't injure anybody. Those doctors used their own hands in front of the lab. This one is not something that they say I heard. I saw them. They used their own hands in front of the lab, tore their own clothes, and said we were the one that tore their clothes. Meanwhile, they tore their clothes by themselves.
While I was being beaten, they were trying to drag the fridge in their own office out when one of the irons in the fridge injured one of the doctors there. Like, I saw them destroy their own lab themselves. I was even surprised when I saw videos going out that it was the interns and the scientists that destroyed their labs. That is not true. That is the biggest lie of the century. They did those things themselves. The doctors did those things themselves. Inflicted injuries on themselves. Some even rushed into the workshop where most of my colleagues were still doing their work and pursued them out, threw them on the floor, and then those ones were able to run away. So the lie going around is very, very not true. Doctors did those things themselves. The peaceful demonstration ended. I was even going to get my bag and leave, because I was not more interested in working again, because I came to school peacefully to do my job, and then I had to protest for you allow me to do my job. I was tired, and that was like around past 2. I was tired already since 8 o'clock that I came. So I wanted to go home. Past 12, okay. I wanted to go home.
The whole violence of yesterday started with the doctors, where they broke that bottle on the parts and started throwing those broken pieces of
at people and expect them
not to run.
People running that video were students. We were the students running away in that video. Then the unlucky ones like us that couldn't run so fast because of the crowd and the stampede fell, and then they beat us.
I think that's all.
That means because the video trending is that you guys were the one that destroyed the lab, break those things, and even injured some of the doctors.
That is a very big lie. It is a very big lie. Most of us, I don't know, most of us are injured. Just that you can't see them right now. Most of us are injured. Nobody.
Imagine breaking a wooden stool on a girl's head. She's in final year. She's in final year. A stool was broken on her head. The another one, they broke another stool on somebody's back. And then they aimed him bottle. Like, imagine throwing bottle at a person. What was the aim? To kill the person now.
Okay, now, because things like this don't usually happen without a purpose. Was there any problem between the medical lab science students with the doctors before this incident?
See, we had no problem. As I stated earlier, this problem started the day before yesterday. The doctors knew, or rather they have valid information that most medical laboratory scientists are not around, that they have gone for the conference at Abuja. I don't know what happened though. Maybe they feel they should come and intimidate us and take over our jobs. No, we are not saying we want to be doctors. I personally, I don't want to be a doctor. Do you want to be a doctor? We don't want to be a doctor. We don't want to be doctors. They should not come and oppress us. They should not come and intimidate us. Let them be on their own lane. We'll be on our own lane. The medical facility is there for the development of the health of Nigerians as a whole. It's not a place where you should come there and struggle for power, or you want to be greedy and you want to accumulate wealth for yourself. It's not. Together, the medical laboratory scientists and the doctor, they are supposed to work hand in hand so as to make everything function the way it's supposed to function. But I don't know, the case at UCTH is becoming so appalling. Please, I want to say this. No doctor should think that a supervisory work is the same thing as superiority. You can be asked to supervise someone, but it does not mean you are superior to that person. That is one thing they forget, they fail to understand. I don't know, there was no problem with because from our own part we have no problem with the doctors. The doctors always have problems with other medical practitioners, not just med laboratory scientists, nursing, radiographer, everybody. Let me tell you, you see this argument. It is only people in the medical field that understand these arguments, that understand what happened yesterday. And if you check it well, most people commenting are mostly the doctors versus the other medical practitioners, because the doctors will always want to defend themselves. They want to defend themselves, but it is very wrong. It is very wrong. You shouldn't come to the hospital and intimidate others because you want power, you want to accumulate power. It's very wrong. This thing started day before yesterday. As I said earlier, I can repeat it even 10 times to show you that I was there. We were there peacefully. It was no problem at all. These doctors came in and asked us to leave, that they want to be on call. It is not done anywhere. It is not done anywhere. Doctors are not supposed to be on call in the lab self. When did that one start? Okay, fine, you want to learn, you want to teach your students. Okay, that's cool. Let's do it together. All of us will learn. After all, it is our job. We are the ones that are supposed to teach you people. Say, see, this is what is supposed to go on in a lab. That's why we are called medical laboratory scientists. You people are doing whatsoever lab medicine for just 1 year. You cannot come and say because you are doing lab medicine for just 1 year, it's more than me that has done it for 5 years. It's not done anyway. Okay, fine, you came to the lab to be on call. That's cool by us. Okay, fine, sit down. We'll do the calls together. But this one, no. They came in and asked us to leave the lab, as they want to take over, that we are not supposed to be in that lab that evening again. When we now showed some a form of resistance, they went outside, brought in armed people with guns. Not even, when I say armed, I'm not talking about cutlass or whatsoever. Guns with bullets inside, loaded, and tried to chase us out. At the end, we went out now. That's what happened though. Then the next morning, they now locked the gate. My colleague has already told you that. They locked the gate, kept us outside, deprived us of learning, deprived our scientists of working, kept us outside. And I think all this thing was a planned something, because they knew that this week our scientists will not be around. They planned all these stuff, messed up their offices, they messed up the office, and now blamed it all on us. We had nothing to do with it. And I'm still saying it too. The interns and the medical laboratory scientists had nothing to do with what happened yesterday. It was all students. Okay, yes. So please, if you think we are lying, or you think you don't believe us, that's why I say it's only people in the medical sector, or the health sector rather, that will understand this thing that is going on. If you think we are lying, ask other medical practitioners what goes on in the hospital. The doctors always feel that they are above other medical practitioners, which is very wrong. It is very, very wrong. It is not supposed to be so. Everybody is supposed to work hand in hand for the betterment of the health of the patient. So it's very wrong for the medical doctors to feel that they are above us. They are not above us. We are medical practitioners. They are medical practitioners. We should work hand in hand so that everything will happen. Okay, if it's like that, since they want to control the hospital, why don't they used to go and clean the hospital? Let them Kukuma start cleaning the hospital now. It's very wrong. It is very wrong. What happened yesterday was very wrong. They all started it. They started the violence. It was a peaceful protest. Nothing happened. Nobody was hurt. It was a peaceful protest. Not until they broke that bottle and injured most of my colleagues, including me. See the wound now. See it now. Most of us were injured, and they are still injured. Let it not be as if the wound has healed. So that's just it.
Thank you very much.